rational and give an argument of why they're an atheist. Proof, evidence. So, ladies and gentlemen, the genius of the Shock of God challenge, the brilliance of it, the intelligent wisdom of it, is that when you ask that question, the atheist will say something very limp-wristed. It's, oh, look at the Poochie, Pooch Pooch. They will say, and just to think that dog shot out of the Big Bang over millions and millions of years. Yes, folks, go get your cat Felix or your dog Poochie Woochie. The atheist wants you to believe that your dog is the product of an explosion, a chaotic explosion. But they're going to tell you it took millions and millions of years. Yes, folks, time is the magic wizardry in the equation. Let's go to the next one. Oh, this is a great one. So the atheists do not understand the difference between ontology and epistemology. They'll say morals are subjective. Now, I'm going to show you how to defeat an atheist in debate with this, very humbly speaking. I did it by accident one time. It just came to me when I was... Okay, wait a minute. Got a bad feeling about this. Got a bad feel. Oh, another Poochie that shot out of the Big Bang right there. Did you see that? It's just amazing that it took millions of years for these dogs to shoot out of the Big Bang. All right, folks. The GoPro's on. So we have a subscriber request here in my formerly Bible page turning fingers. And this subscriber request wants me to talk about the 10 dumbest things that atheists say and believe in. And at first I was going to say I can't do it because there's not enough battery power on the GoPro. And, you know, because I can record for about an hour or so. But there's so many dumb things that atheists say and believe in. So I said, can I just do 10? 10 that I think are pretty funny. And keep in mind, a lot of atheists are little kids. That's why they don't think rational yet. So we're going to see if we could educate our atheist friends. And let's get started. We're going to start with number 1 here, and then we'll go down the list. I'm going to take you to downtown, a very busy area of downtown here. Make sure the thing is situated. So number 1... Wow, we got... Let me go through them real quick, okay? And then I'll go back over them. Because I can't see God, therefore God doesn't exist. Number 2, things change over time, so evolution created. Number 3, they can't answer the Shock of God challenge, so they'll say they lack a belief. We're going to talk about the Shock of God challenge also, because it's well over 10 years that the atheists have not been able to conquer the Shock of God challenge. I'll tell you about that. You know, it's more exciting if we ride. Let's try. So let's start off with number 1, then we'll break it down to the 10. The number 9 and 10 are hilarious. All right, let's go. So number 1 is really number 1. If you know what I mean. It's full of number 1, and number 2 is full of number 2. Atheists. Oh my gosh. Atheists are so stupid. So they say, number 1, because I can't see God, therefore he doesn't exist. Well, what type of God are you looking for? Are you looking for the God of the Bible? Are you looking for... I mean, what God is it, pray tell, that you're looking for? So the God of Scripture is spirit. Spiritual. So do you mean you can't see him with your eyes? Your physical eyeballs? Well, of course. So let's talk about that. Is it a fact that if you can't see something with your eyeballs, therefore you should assume it doesn't exist? Of course not. For example, I can't see inside this guy's car. He might have a cell phone in the car, but I'm not going to assume he doesn't have one just because I can't see it. It's ridiculous. Do you know, in fact, there are more things that exist that the atheist has not seen than things that exist that the atheist has seen. So, what about the rest of the entire universe? The atheist hasn't even seen the other 99% of just our universe, let alone the spiritual realm. So the atheist is not qualified to claim that God does not exist when they don't have all knowledge of the spiritual realm and the universe. But I want to tell you some stupid things. So you know who Aaron Ra is on YouTube? He's an atheist, but he looks like a Hasidic Jew. He's got like long hair and like a hat. He dresses like a wizard. Well, he was on like a podcast, and him and the other host were talking about... go ahead, brother. Go ahead. He and the other host... we're talking about Christianity, the existence of God, and they actually said pictures or it doesn't exist. Wow! Talk about limiting reality. So, Aaron Ra is like, exactly, pictures or it doesn't exist. Really? How stupid could someone be? Are you really willing to claim, atheist, my atheist friends, bless your sweet little primate hearts, are you guys really willing to claim the stupid claim that if you can't see it, it doesn't exist? Really? You want to go there? That's really stupid. Again, there's more things that you haven't seen that exist than things that you've seen that exist. There's more things that exist that you have not seen. So, let's get this protected here because we're going on the freeway. Let's pick it up here. Then we'll get back to the list. Always extremely windy in these parts over here. See if I can use this car for shelter once we get through this pass here. So, atheists will say, and let me fold this, last time it shredded. Atheists will say, because things change over time and evolve, therefore evolution created all these species. Really? Do you guys see the flaw in that? Evolution is not a creating force. It's just talks about things, it explains things that change after they've already been created. So, I can't believe atheists would say that. That's dumb. So, I'm going to tell you something really funny that they always say. If you ask them, how did humans get here on this planet? How are humans created? They can never explain it. So what they'll do is they'll say millions and millions and billions of years we evolved. That's not explaining jack diddly. It's really funny how they'll say time did it. That's not a good answer. That you're not explaining it. So one of the reasons why I left atheism is atheism lacks explanatory scope. The evidence that we see is that intelligence creates complex things. So for example, let's see what this is right here in front of us. What vehicle? Nissan. Okay, Nissan. And let's see what this one is, because I'm going to show you, we're going to use these as an example. Lexus. We'll use this Lexus. Either Nissan or Lexus will do as an example, but let's say you and I ask someone, how did that Lexus be created? How was it created, I should say? How did it come about? And rather than answering the correct way that it's a product of intelligent design, like the Nissan back there was also, our evolutionary atheistic friends say, well, it took 7 days for that Lexus to evolve into what it is. Are they answering the question of how it got created? Of course not. They're just talking about time. It has nothing to do with how it was created. So it's very hilarious when you talk to people, just these mental midgets on YouTube like Aaron Ra, Matt Dillahunty, Godless Engineer, Thunderfoot, The Atheist Voice, Cosmic Skeptic, Genetically Modified Skeptic. When you talk to these mental midgets on YouTube and you say, explain to me how humans were created. Oh, it takes millions and millions of years. That's their answer. They can't explain it. How did that Lexus come about? Oh, it took 7 days. No, you're not answering the question. How did humans get here on this planet? Christians are saying intelligent design. Same thing for this PT Cruiser and the Lexus that we just saw. We're almost downtown, guys. We're going to stay here. They're stopping. So, this is number one stupid thing atheists say when you ask them how things got created, how things came about. If they're scared of using the word created, they'll say, well, it took millions of years. We're not asking the time. We're not talking about the time it took, and they don't even know the time. How could they prove that? We're asking, how did humans come about? The answer, it took billions of years or millions of years, is a crap answer. And what you'll find by the time I'm done with this video, folks, is that atheism is full of crap. That is the correct definition of it. Alright, let's go to, so we know number one is full of number one. Time is not an answer. Number one was they can't see God. Wait a minute. They can't see God, therefore he doesn't exist. It's the dumbest answer ever. So when you look at Scripture, what did Jesus say? He said God is spirit and he must be worshipped in spirit. What if the atheist was blind physically and he can't see cars and he can't see other things? Are we then to say that those things don't exist, I should say, just because he can't see them with his physical handicaps? And that's what happened. Our eyes cannot see the spiritual realm, although we do see some evidence of the spiritual realm with ghost demonic activity. You know, look right below here for a video, a real video where I talk about where a demon, a ghost, attacked my dad, and I was witness to this because I lived in the house at the same time when we were kids. So number one was they can't see God, therefore he doesn't exist. That's the dumbest argument ever. That's why no rational atheist would use it. Number two, things change over time, so evolution did it. They're always guilty of evolution of the gaps and time of the gaps. Time did it. How did this Ford get here? Well, it took a long time for it to go. No, I'm not asking about the time. Explain to me, Mr. Atheist, and you can't do it, but explain to me how the respiratory system came about, and the lungs and the stomach and everything. See, the human is a product of intelligent design, and it's impossible for a human to start from a blob of slime and, or as a lot of atheists say, from a rock. Atheists say that a rock gave birth to humans. The problem, though, is humans are irreducibly complex. Check it out. We have our arteries, our lungs, our eyes. The atheists want you to believe that there was a massive explosion, and over millions and billions of years, you came out of that explosion. Right. This is so stupid. I mean, atheists, you're making fools out of yourself. And it's nothing new. Even the Bible says that atheists are fools. All right. Got to be careful here because we're lane splitting, which is legal in California, howbeit not for the faint of heart. Okay, so let's talk about the Shock of God challenge. So, as you guys know, for over 10 years, I've been challenging atheists to answer the Shock of God challenge. It is brilliant. It is genius. If you ask this question while you're talking to an atheist, all of a sudden the front of their pants will turn damp as they wet themselves. Don't ask this question when you're standing behind Matt Dillahunty, because he dumps crap into his underwear. Do you know the Atheist Experience Show still is not taking people calling, asking this question? They're so terrified of it. As much as I'm terrified to squeeze through this truck and the... Whoa, excuse me, Prius. So, the Shock of God challenge is, you know, when you're watching debates, the atheists never give arguments against the existence of God. They never do it. You can't go into a debate and not give arguments against the existence of God. I've done, very humbly speaking, you guys want to see my debates, you be the judge. I've debated well over 70 sweet, cuddly, huggable loser atheists. I say loser because they all lost the debate. But the reason why they lost, if the tables were turned and I was taking the atheist position, I would have lost that debate. You can never win a debate as an atheist, because the debate topic is, does God exist? That means the atheist must bring arguments against, and me, the Christian theist, must bring arguments for the existence of God. But the atheist, in my debates with them, never bring arguments against the existence of God, and once we get around this corner, we'll be there. We're going to a hustling and bustling city, which is majority conservative Republican, so I love this city. So this is why atheists always lose the debate. So the Shock of God challenge is this: what proof and evidence, it's a question, what proof and evidence can you provide, you, the sweet, cuddly, huggable atheist that's watching this video, that would finally at last prove that atheism is accurate and correct? Oh my gosh, right now atheists across YouTube are peeing their pants, and if Matt Dillahunty is watching, he's dumping into his drawers. This question terrifies the atheist, because just once in their life they have to actually think rational and give an argument of why they're an atheist. Proof, evidence. So, ladies and gentlemen, the genius of the Shock of God challenge, the brilliance of it, the intelligent wisdom of it, is that when you ask that question, the atheist will say something very limp-wristed. It's, oh, look at the poochie, pooch. They will say, and just to think that dog shot out of the Big Bang over millions and millions of years. Yes, folks, go get your cat Felix or your dog Poochie Woochie. The atheists want you to believe that your dog is the product of an explosion, a chaotic explosion. But they're going to tell you it took millions and millions of years. Yes, folks, time is the magic wizardry in the equation. Okay, so back to this. When I asked them what proof and evidence can you provide that would finally at last prove that atheism is accurate and correct, I got to show you something with my wrist, and I can't do it right here. The guy's going to think I'm making fun of him, so I can do it over here. They're going to get their limp little wrist, their Caitlyn Jenner wrist, their Richard Simmons wrist, and they're going to say, I lack a belief. I never said God doesn't exist. They're going to go with their limp atheist wrist, because the atheists are spineless and wristless. They're going to say, well, Shock, I never claimed God doesn't exist. I'm just saying I lack a belief. The lack of belief response is crap. Total stinky crap. That's not an argument against God's existence. In fact, no one even believes you lack a belief. But that's not an argument against God's existence. Alright. So the Shock of God challenge, click share below this video, you guys. I'm not using any profanity on this video. When I say that that's a crap argument that atheists use, that's not profanity, that is fact. So, let's get over here. Oh, that was close. Let's get over here because I want to read the next one. So, the Shock of God challenge has been going on over 10 years. The Atheist Experience Show will hang up on people that answer it, and then you'll see Matt Dillahunty get up and go change his pants for some mysterious reason. I think we know why. Matt needs to get the atheist version of Depends when you ask him the Shock of God challenge. I just thought of a good idea. I'm going to send a box of Depends to Matt Dillahunty with the question on top of the box. Here, you'll need this. I'll look right below here to see Matt Dillahunty pooping his pants as he refuses to answer that question. What proof and evidence can you provide that atheism is accurate and correct? Let's go to the next one. Oh, this is a great one. So the atheists do not understand the difference between ontology and epistemology. They'll say morals are subjective. Now, I'm going to show you how to defeat an atheist in debate with this, very humbly speaking. I did it by accident one time. It just came to me when I was... Okay, wait a minute. Got a bad feeling about this. Got a bad feeling. Oh, another Poochie that shot out of the Big Bang right there. Did you see that? It's just amazing that it took millions of years for these dogs to shoot out of the Big Bang. Okay. So atheists will say morals are subjective. So I was in a debate. What I'm telling you is going to seem bizarre, but it's true, okay? I'll even put the debates that I've been in right below here, and I have this on audio what I'm about to tell you. There was a Christian radio podcast, sort of like a Ben Shapiro type setup, and they invited me to come on and debate an atheist. They said, this atheist keeps calling in and he wants to debate the host, but we're a Christian show, we don't do debates, but if you're willing to come on, because they knew it would be very entertaining and fun, never boring. And boy, was that an understatement. The guy started yelling at me, the atheist guy, because I utterly destroyed him. Even the atheist friends of mine were admitting, and I mean atheist associates, I don't hang out with atheists, but the atheist friends, you know, on the internet said, yeah, you really did destroy him. But here's what happened when it got to objective moral values. The atheists did not understand the difference between epistemology and ontology. So he said, I said, well, rape's wrong. Are you saying rape's not wrong? And like a lamb to the slaughter, like a fish to the worm on the hook, he took the bait, and I knew what he was going to say. Well, no, it's not wrong, but it's wrong, but it used to not be wrong. It's all subjective. Morals evolve, right? So that's what he said. And I said, well, you don't understand ontology and epistemology. Epistemology is, how we come to know knowledge. We're coming to learn the fact that rape is always wrong. Rape being wrong is ontology. That never changes. But yes, people can come to learn a truth that never changes. Hold on, this light always catches me. So, I said rape's always been wrong, but society, thanks to Christians, and due to epistemology coming to learn certain truths and facts of God, society moved closer to ontology, the fact that rape is always wrong. And we've even in our Judeo-Christian America here, we've created laws on the books that don't say it's subjective. It's a crime. Even if the rapist thinks it's subjective. So I told the guy, he goes, they used to rape and there was nothing wrong with it. I said, well, they're still raping. Evil people are still raping. And he said, well, yeah, but it's, against the law everywhere in America. I said, yeah, because we come to learn the truth through epistemology, the ontology of the fact that rape is always wrong. And he goes, well, our morals changed. I said, it was always wrong. And then I said, look, is rape always wrong? And he was evading it. Because the atheist would have to say, like a complete fool on the radio debate, no, it's not always wrong. And no atheist has the guts to live out their worldview. To be an atheist, you have to claim that rape is subjective and it's not always wrong. They don't have the guts to say it in a radio debate, because normal people like you and I, they would start booing the atheist. Some rape victims might go up there and punch him in the face or drag him off the stage and say, in the words of, what's that environmentalist lady? How dare you? Gretchen. How dare you say that rape is subjective? So anyways, here's how I got him. I said, look, give me an instance where rape is okay. Give me an instance. Now, in debate, he has to come up with some sick, bizarre instance why on his sick, twisted atheist worldview, because you got to be sick and twisted to be a atheist. Atheism is a disease. He has to explain why rape would be okay. And he starts stuttering like Matt Dillahunty when you ask him the Shock of God challenge. Seriously, you guys, try contacting the Atheist Experience Show and ask them, what proof and evidence can you give me that would finally at last prove that atheism is accurate and correct? They don't have anything. Nothing. And make sure you tell Matt to get a box of Depends before you ask that question. So I asked the atheist, just give me one instance where rape would be okay. If I could get him to say, well, it's never okay, then he's admitting on the ontology of the fact that objective values exist, and because that's an objective value. It's never okay. He said it. To his credit, he said, well, look, rape is never okay. And I shouted for joy. I said, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. He's admitting that objective moral values exist. Thought that guy was going to go in front of me. He was looking weird. So, let's go to the next one. So when an atheist says, well, everyone has a different opinion on morals, yeah, that has nothing to do with objective morals not existing. What's interesting is you'll see Matt Dillahunty struggle with this. He believes that objective moral values exist, but when you question him, well, how the hell can objective moral values exist? He says, what he then says is that the things that he's calling objective moral values, hold on, just hold it, are not objective moral values at all. They're subjective human values that you create. So he'll say, well, we create our own morals. I got to give this more gas. Sometimes when you have these earplugs in your ear, because it gets really loud, I can't hear the revving of the motor. I gotta rev it to a certain... So he'll say, as a society, we create morals. That's what Hitler tried to do. He tried to create this great society. And they created their own morals that it's okay to kill the Jews. So, if your atheist friend says, well, if objective moral values exist, then why do people disagree on it? That has nothing to do with objective moral values, that they agree or don't agree. That has nothing to do with it. If objectively, I'm just going to use a speed limit that never changes. If objectively there's a speed limit of 60 miles per hour, and I refuse to go 60, I'm going 50 or 80 or whatever, that doesn't change the fact that the speed limit is objectively 60 miles per hour. And good luck. If you're an atheist, good luck living in the real world that we live in, the normal people. Oh wait, this guy's going again. Good luck living in the real world that normal people live in. I better go now. And telling a judge that you feel it's subjective to rape. Good luck. That's why the normal people recognize objective moral values, that rape is always wrong. All right, let's go to this next one. Oh! This one's really weird. Now, you guys heard of Cosmic Skeptic? Cosmic Skeptic's really weird. He says that there's no free will. And he says that out of his own free will. Look, Cosmic Skeptic says there's no free will. Now, nobody, I believe he's in England, the courts where he lives disagree with him, that the laws and reality all state that there is free will. And if you do a crime, I gotta get over here. If you do a crime and you use that argument, well, I don't have free will, I had to do it, you're still going to jail. So this is another stupid thing, let me get it over here, that atheists say that they have no free will. It is bizarre. Now, why would an atheist deny something so obvious to normal people that aren't mentally ill? I'll tell you why. They have to. The atheist has to deny free will. Why? Because if we're all just atheist flesh blobs, you know what an atheist flesh blob is? Oh boy. An atheist flesh blob is just like you're a human amoeba. You can't reason, you have no free will, you're just an animal, let's say. Well, That would make sense on the atheist worldview, that you have no free will. You're just a bunch of flesh, like an atheist flesh blob. So, if you start bringing free will into this, and you start saying that you have choice, well, then this says that there's something that controls your movements. This shows there's something else, like a soul, a spirit, that is sitting at the piano playing the keys. It's not a player piano. I can go to the right, my own free will, and in about 4 seconds I'm going to choose to go to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it is obvious that we have free will. So the fact that atheists that cannot reason well, like Cosmic Skeptic, and they claim that they have no free will, it's quite frankly embarrassing. The atheist that says they have no free will is like the person that says the sun revolves around the earth. It is quite embarrassing for an atheist that says that. Well, why do all these atheists say it? They have to say it because the minute you bring free will into it, you're like, well, wait a minute, why would we have free will if we're all just evolved primates and there is no soul and no spirit? Doesn't make sense, folks. Let's see what the next thing is here. Atheists say they're making the world a better place. They're better than Christians. Well, every time atheists get into power, they murder people more than any other religion ever has. It is not true that atheists are making this world a better place. The atheist regimes of Stalin, Pol Pot, thank you, brother, Kim Jong-il, Mao, they murdered, raped, killed just millions upon millions of children, women and men, innocent ones. So let's see what's next. So another thing too is the atheist really has no objective purpose to life. This is why the highest suicide rate is in the atheist community. Now, isn't it interesting that a lot of atheists gravitate towards the homosexual lifestyle? This is not a what came first, chicken or egg quandary. The fact is, the Bible says that when people are in atheism too long, they reject God and they embrace atheism, they become homosexuals. Go to the book of Romans. Go right to Romans, and I would start at chapter 3. And it talks about how these people become homosexuals because once they're willing to deny the reality that God exists, they become perverts. And they start to be confused, and they don't know their anus is for defecation, not penetration. So what we like to tell atheists is, look, you don't want to be an atheist and then become a homosexual. You're going to get it in the end. That's what the Bible said. You don't want to be a lesbian. You know, the Bible says that the lesbians will go to hell lickety-split. So let's see what else we have here. So the fact that the atheists say that they're better, you know, that's a fact that they say it, but it's not true. Everywhere Christianity has gone, the world has gotten to be a better place. Do you know that atheists are very selfish? They're the least giving of any group. After 9/11 and 9/11 happened, they did a survey of who people trust the most, and the atheists were on the bottom of the list. Muslims were trusted even more than atheists after 9/11. This should tell you that only on YouTube are atheists respected. Only on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook in the real world, where you go out into the world, they're considered fools. They really are, because they are. Okay, another dumb thing atheists say is the universe is eternal. And so no one had to create it. The universe is eternal, but that's not true. Modern science, I'm not talking about old Darwinian science that's already been proven to be untrue. You know, Darwin went to work in a horse and buggy, you guys. I mean, please. Darwin claimed that the cell was just a glob of goo, like a gelatin-type substance. He didn't even understand the complexity of the cell or DNA. Darwin was an idiot compared to what we know now. You and I are much more intelligent and have more knowledge than Darwin did on his best day. So the horse and buggy science did claim that the universe was eternal, but now all major scientists, the majority of the scientists, the peer-reviewed science journals, all admit what Christians have claimed from the beginning, that the universe began to exist. And if the universe began to exist, it had a cause, and the cause cannot be a material cause. What do we know that's not made of matter, that's not material, that could... Spirit. It's interesting that God is spirit, and he meets the qualifications of the creator of the universe. So let's go to the next one. So when the atheists say the universe is eternal, that's just hogwash. Another thing too that atheists will say, they'll say that they can create a better society, but the problem is the Christians that founded America, and there was like 55 founders, 53 were Christians, and all of them were theists. The others were deists. And deism is not atheism. Deism claims that God exists. But 53 of the founders out of like 55 were Christians. All of them admitted the fact that God exists. They talk about the rights being objective rights. In other words, remember we talked about epistemology and ontology, and they said that it's self-evident. We don't have to prove it. And this is why the existence of God is self-evident. The founders admitted that. Now, where do our rights come from? They don't come from atheist regimes of Stalin, Pol Pot, Mao, Kim Jong-il, Khmer Rouge. God grants our rights, and the government's job is to protect your rights and mine. The danger of atheism, they want to remove that. They want to remove your rights being objective rights, rights of ontology, rights that you have that are not granted to you. So it is true that these communist countries like China, they're pushing atheism into society to try to destroy America. And then how do they do it? They do it through our educational systems, our universities. If you read actual books on communism and how they plan to change America, it's through changing the foundation of the family, where they push the sin of homosexuality. They push two women being moms, or two dads being their dad and stuff. It's just sick. And this is communism being infiltrated into America. And these kids on YouTube don't understand. They're just pawns of the communist regime. And then they grow up to be idiot Matt Dillahunties, or idiot Aaron Ross, or idiot cosmic skeptics, just pushing communism and humanism, anti-freedom type of propaganda into YouTube. They're just puppets on strings, these atheists. Another thing that atheists will say when you're in debate with them, they will say God was evil to destroy people in the flood. And I said, well, you're not atheist, you're theist. You're claiming that God was evil and he destroyed people in the flood. Now, you are a hostile theist to God, but you're not an atheist. Any atheist that claims God is evil for destroying people in the flood is a theist. So when they say that, say, you're a theist. You need to quit calling yourself atheist. You're a theist. Any atheist watching this video that says, and you hear it all the time, I could never worship a God that says homosexuality is sin. Well, you're a theist. Don't incorrectly classify yourself as an atheist, because you're not claiming God doesn't exist. You're saying because God has certain guidelines and standards, you're rejecting him. You're a theist. Most of the so-called atheists on YouTube are actually theists. Here's something really funny. Back to the last thing we'll talk about is this lack of belief thing they'll say. Let's go around this. Atheists will say they lack a belief. Lack of belief is like looking at dog crap on the lawn. It's of no use to a debate. It's not an argument against God's existence. It's not scientific. It's not philosophical. It's just like dog crap. So when an atheist says they lack a belief, say, oh, you're using the dog crap approach. If I say I lack a belief that this white vehicle, this truck in front of me is not there, that's irrelevant to the fact that it's there or not. It's dumb that they say that. Let's see what other dumb things they say. But I get a lot of the I lack a belief, and I'm going to tell you why atheists say they lack a belief, because they're not good in debate. They've learned this from Matt Dillahunty. I want to show you, if you guys really want to see how full of crapola atheism is, I want you to watch the Atheist Experience show. You can go on YouTube. I strongly recommend to watch the Atheist Experience show. If you are a Christian theist, you are going to see the madness of atheism right in front of your face. If you are a Christian theist and you want to see proof that atheism is madness, go look at the YouTube channel Cosmic Skeptic. The dude says he doesn't have free will. He's just like an atheist flesh blob. Go look at the atheist channel Genetically Modified Skeptic. You will believe what I'm telling you, that atheism is madness in its purest form. Go see Thunderfoot's YouTube channel. Go see The Atheist Voice. He's totally insane. I'm going to give you an example of one video that he made. He made this video where he said, regarding the teleological argument, you know, the teleological argument, there's so many of these fine-tuned constants that if the fine-tuning of our universe for existence of life right here on our planet was not just right, that no life would exist. And if you go to ShockofGod.com, or I'll put the video right below this video, you'll see a list of these fine-tuned constants, and it's obviously clear that they're the product of intelligent design. It's not luck or chance, right? And even people that say, well, we evolved into Earth, can't say that, because the Earth would not be here without the fine-tuned constants. You follow me? So the Atheist Voice said, well, of course, if it wasn't fine-tuned and we didn't if it wasn't fine-tuned and we didn't exist, then we wouldn't be here to recognize that it's fine-tuned. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? Of course, if there was no fine-tuning, we would have no life here. The argument is how do you explain this fine-tuning? I mean, atheism is so dumb, you guys. Look right below here for my list of 10 stupid things that atheists say and believe, but they really shouldn't.